There are those of us who like to venture to the unexplored, to see the beauty in the strange and unknown. Those of us who go out there with a sense of wonder, bridging worlds, finding delight in our differences. If you are one of us and you want to explore more of this great planet, we're ready to take you there. Your wings already exist. All you have to do is fly. Widen your world. It's time.
For centuries, we've searched for the origin of life on Earth. We've been looking on the wrong planet.
As we now live in modern times, the knowledge is at our fingertips. Please be advised, we aren't discussing Grandpappy's version to history, nor do we indulge in what Grandma taught from Scripture. Presented here for you is what's referred to as CSI history. So welcome, friends, brothers and sisters across the globe. Welcome through the illusion. Epitaph 1. The Fall I Am, Secrets Beyond the Grandcester's Garden. Mythology across our planet entails the story of a global flood. There are over 190 different cultures worldwide from ancient history that have documented this account by oral traditions and also cataloged in some type of written or pictorial assembly. Sumerian mythology explains this in the Epic of Gilgamesh, while it is recognized and retold in the Noah story, which gives reference to a species known as the Nephilim. The Nephilim, of which few survived the original epic deluge, whom reigned before the flood, are told as Noah's historical bloodline, descendant of the great Enoch of the true Nephilim heritage. Numbers 13:133. And there we saw the giants, the sons of Anak, which come of the giants. And we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and so we were in their sight. Written in humanity's past, concluding our hidden history, there is a code that consists of a very archaic story, told through technology, science, and stone. There is truth buried within all, and therefore must be scrutinized. Discovering what takes a lifetime, condensed in this video, shared with you, exposes the truths that's been hidden in secrecy. This is Enoch's Dudale, Exodus to Truth. From the Book of Enoch, Chapter 6. It came to pass when the children of men had multiplied that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. And the angels, the children of the heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. And Semjaza, who was their leader, said unto them, I fear ye will not indeed agree to do this deed, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin. And they all answered him and said, Let us swear an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecations, not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. Then swear they all together, and bound themselves by multiple imprecations upon it. And they were all in all 200, who descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon, and they called it Mount Hermon, because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. Elongated skulls were somewhat of a forbidden subject in the past. However, today they are a focus of awakened individuals asking questions to a history of puzzle pieces yet to be assembled. Extensively still asked by researchers questions such as, are they alien in origin? A prior unknown human-like recently discovered denizen man? Perhaps a hybrid mix of alien and humans? Could they be a mongoloid species from a hollow earth? Or is the Star Child skull really a Sasquatch Bigfoot child skull? Maybe some of these skulls are just misidentified, deformed humans caused by malnutrition or disease. Some believe these skulls are fallen angels, or on the other end of the scale, it has been conjured they are possibly demons. The questions are plentiful. Truly, the answers are few. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it, quoted Aristotle. Today's technological age is extensively detailing just how misguided past historians' interpretations of our planet and its true history really are. The next 10 years will reveal beyond a shadow of a doubt they understood very little to mankind's rightful heritage. Through the extensive examination of ancient historical monuments, archaic petroglyphs, hieroglyphs, and Stelea study reading, oral tradition translations, and their culture's histories, archaeocosmology, mythologies, and various denomination scriptures combined with today's astronomical knowledge, an understandable answer can be obtained. Science offers the explanation our solar system's inner asteroid belt at one time was indeed a large water-bearing planet. In science terms, this explanation is known as Bode's law. In the past, theory has been put forth that our inner asteroid belt at one time did harbor a water-bearing planet. Astrophysicists have given this planet a theorized name, and though there have been various different names, the name most commonly used today is Phaeton, and it is the hypothetical planet posited to have existed between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter, whose destruction supposedly led to the formation of the asteroid belt. The hypothetical planet was named for Phaeton, the son of god Helios, in Greek mythology. Theories regarding the formation of the asteroid belt from the destruction of a hypothetical fifth planet are today collectively referred to as the disruption theory. This theory states that there was once a major planetary member of our solar system circulating in the present gap between Mars and Jupiter, which was variously destroyed when it veered too close to Jupiter and was torn apart by its powerful gravity, or it was struck by another large celestial body, or it was shattered by some internal catastrophe, or it was destroyed by a hypothetical brown dwarf, the companion star to the Sun, known as Nemesis. This was taken from Wikipedia. From variable interpretations to Sumerian history stemming from cuneiform and Akkadian and Babylonian Steleas, we are explained a planet known as Tiamat, which is interpreted now as our solar system's inner asteroid belt. This functional water-bearing habitable planet would have been the fifth planet from our Sun. Our solar system may have had a fifth terrestrial planet, one that was swallowed up by the Sun, but before it was destroyed, the now missing in-action world made a mess of things. Scientists John Chambers and Jack Lasser of NASA's Ames Research Center hypothesized that along with Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, the terrestrial rocky planets, there was a fifth terrestrial world, likely just outside of Mars' orbit and before the inner asteroid belt. Planet 5. The computer modeling findings of Chambers and Lasser were presented during the 33rd Lunar and Planetary Science Conference, held between March 11th and the 15th and sponsored by NASA and the Lunar Planetary Institute. This distant planet, further than our own from our Sun, absorbed outer space debris more often and sooner in its existence than Earth due to its relative location cycle of our solar system. Often bombarded from the far reaches of our universe with panspermia to its watery eco-climate, life to our solar system there would be created first. The progression of time existence to life in comparison with Earth's would definitely exist longer, with extensive time for advancement. In recognition to this, we can establish our Sun's now removed fifth planet once harbored an intelligent life species who became advanced to the point they were able to transcend space visiting other planets in our system. The biological terrestrial beings that initially visited Earth were a highly technologically advanced race. This race species were giants of technology, consisting of advanced life forms. From cosmological history, we learn mythology in the story of the thunderbolts of the gods. The ancient petroglyph symbology found the world over, known as the squatting man, can also be reviewed on Native American Navajo rug tapestry. This squatting man petroglyph rock art has been clarified as a plasma burst of the electric universe theory. The electric universe theory is associated as a serpentine plasma burst entering into our solar system. The stick figurines embossed on the renowned petroglyph are what Earth's peoples witnessed before the cataclysm erupted, creating the mythological deluge. According to the research conducted and complied with in the book Worlds in Collision, written by Immanuel Velikovsky, this solar interplanetary destruction was witnessed within the span of early human existence. This solar eruption can very well be considered as the culminating factor in what was witnessed from Earth's skies as our solar system's fifth planet, home to the Elongs, the fallen ones, their planet disintegrated. The Elongs, from the fifth planet, Juno, harbored an advanced civilization that was mining both Mars and Earth. This planet, fifth from our Sun, imploded due to a postulated coronal mass ejection type strike from a solar plasma columnar discharge. When it blew up, it stripped the atmosphere from Mars, also causing the great gash in it and killing the Juno planet miners. Contributing as a galactic wave, it also caused great catastrophes on Earth. However, the Earth miners survived due to their underground stone lodgings. Most of their technology was destroyed in the catastrophe, but not all. They could leave our planet, but now had nowhere to go, so Earth became their new home. Due to their species being from the fifth planet, and we, on the third planet, are closer to the Sun, they knew the atmosphere difference between Earth and their home planet created a density obstacle that would eventually terminate them to a footnote in history. Astronomy explains we are the third planet closest to the Sun. Due to the density factor, Earth's original aboriginal descendants are shorter, stockier, very dark complexion, and hairier, which helps us to ward off skin and solar radiation issues. The Junas came from the fifth planet, further in distance from the Sun, less density and light. Their planet was further away from our Sun, so they were thinner, taller, white, and hairless. Knowing their species would eventually die out, they integrated their DNA with ours so their intelligence and sacred gathered knowledge would live on. Yes, they were humanoids already here who belonged to this planet. Not much more than apes we were, but not apes. We were a strain of our own gene hominoid. The combination of their DNA and ours created what we are today. And God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over everything creeping that creepeth upon the earth." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he, male and female. Created he them. And that's from Genesis 1:26-27. Or as you can see, gene assisted. Earth's original race was two types of blacks, dark Indianese and Negroid. They are the initial aboriginal races to Earth. The off-world race was Caucasic and Asiatic. The interbreeding changed colors, creating multi-races. They whom took our women as wives and bore offspring via in vitro fertilization. The Junas species planet imploded, deluge. After they came out from hiding and rebuilt again, first among them, the Sumerians. They were the last cyclic catastrophe inaugural initiates. The Nephilim were not the initial landers from the planet Juno, but were actually the first offspring, those who survived the first flood. Their race, the Junas, died out before the deluge happened. Hybrids, the tribe of Dan, men of renown, the men of old, they created a great civilization with man, which was iniquitous. Eventually, we outnumbered the originally elongated Junas as we interbred, and we feared them because of their difference and their knowledge, so we're forced into solitude, killing the remainders and allowing time to pervert the sacred teachings. We were like grasshoppers in their view. The word Nephilim originally translates as Nephal, or to fall, from the fall of man. When Scripture states of giants, it is referring to the Tower of Babel and its technology, not a size reference to humans. It comes from Genesis, which is a history of pre-Delugian times of prior man. Our technology today would make the Dogons feel as if we are giants. This, in effect, is what we war about, in search of lost technology, and those that are the true original bloodline of the Junas, the Jews. So are they aliens? No, not quite. Relating our ancestors as aliens is like calling foreigners aliens. It's incorrigible, for the Alongs are from our very own solar system. The same solar system, is why we resemble each other. Same building blocks to life, but different densities. Do you not think we are entitled to this truth, our birthright? As much as certain as humanity stands as veritable orphans in the cosmos, from stardust we are all born, ever persisting, ever pulling ourselves nearer to the light out of the depths of utter darkness. All is all. From dust were you created, and to dust shall you return. The masters of the numbers, masters to destiny. Together, we can collectively assist the children of tomorrow to unlearn what they have learned, so that they may relearn what they should have rightfully been taught from birth. The Nephilim, a term used in the Aramaic culture translated as Nephilim, refers to the constellation of Orion, and Nephilim derived as the offspring of Orion. And according to mythology, the tale of the Nephilim alluded to in Genesis 6 is based on some of the Sumerian mythology, where 7 legendary heroes from before the flood, of human descent, possessing extraordinary wisdom, and one of the 7 Apkula, the Adapa, was called son of Ea, despite his human origin. Ea translates as earth, equating to son of earth, or, as Jesus Christ stated at his trial with Pilate, son of man, which translates as humanity. This age-old scavenger hunt for lost and hidden technology has created oppressions from them. The challenge to the Ancient Astronaut algorithm claims investigating where history went wrong constitutes a viable answer to the missing link in our ancestral tree, which can be attributed by astronomy as a missing planet that once resided where our solar system's inner asteroid belt now circulates. Esoteric occultist history, combined with archaic monuments and astronomy through modern technological answers, dictates an industrious, intelligent, advanced civilization known as the Elongs, the Homo sapiensis, were indeed mining Mars and Earth when their home planet became destructive, leaving their survivors on Earth stranded as our missing link. Recently reported by the American NBC News Agency, in concurrence with an advanced species from within our solar system that may have visited Earth and are no longer here, astrophysicist scientist Dr. Jason T. Wright voiced his agreement. Quote, "Was our solar system once home to an advanced civilization other than our own? Perhaps one that predated humanity by hundreds of millions of years before being wiped out by an asteroid impact or some cataclysm? At least that's what the scientist Penn State astrophysicist Dr. Jason T. Wright argued in the paper Prior Indigenous Technological Species. The paper was posted on the online research archive RVIX on April 21st, 2017. Wright argues that if a prior indigenous technological species did exist in our solar system, it might have arisen on Earth, or a pre-greenhouse Venus, or on Mars when it still had flowing water. These dwellers of a mysterious forgotten fifth planet, they are our mythological fallen ones, the illuminated, and this is their story, our ancestors of our history. Indeed, they were a gigantic species of wisdom beyond comparison. After many years of researching the various religious denominations' scriptures, including Enoch's forbidden book, the Dead Sea Scrolls, and cross-referencing the words back to the original language, it became apparent that the word gigantus does not mean giants of great stature, but instead those of great ability. Studying Scripture's math and explanation to gigantes gives way to its understanding. The Book of Enoch, and they bare great giants whose height was 3,000 ells. Knowing through anthropology that there is no skeletal remains from our historical evidence presented over 9 foot 4 inches, It became established through modern math that the word L equals a modern metric millimeter. This transition correlates 3,000 L's as a metric mathematical equivalent in approximation of 9 foot 8 1/2 inches in height. These giants, the true elongated people, those historically of renown, this is our history, and they are our ancestral lineage. Through Enoch's detail, Enoch exclaims, "We are the gods' offspring, immortal."
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
This far from driving. Trees went by. Me and Del were singing a little runaway. I was flying, yeah, running down a dream that never would come to me. Working on a mystery, going wherever it leads. Running down a dream. I felt so good, like anything was possible. Hit cruise control and rub my eyes. The last 3 days, and the rain was unstoppable. It was always cold, no sunshine. Yeah, running down a dream that never would come to me. Working on a mystery, going wherever it leads. Running down a dream. I rolled on, the sky grew dark. I put the pedal down to make some time. There's something good waiting down this road. I'm picking up whatever's mine. I'm running down a dream that never would come to me. Working on a mystery, going wherever it leads. Running down a dream. Yeah, I'm running down a dream that never would come to me. Working on a mystery.
wall. Hey, 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 yeah. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. 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 Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's
Into the distance, a ribbon of black, stretched to the point of no turning back. Flight of fancy on a windswept field, standing alone, my senses reel. A fatal attraction is holding me fast. How can I escape its irresistible grasp? Can't keep my eyes from the circling sky. Tongue-tied and twisted, just an earthbound misfit eye. Ice is forming on the tips of my wings. Unheeded warnings, I thought of everything. No navigator to find my way home. Unladen, empty, and turned to stone. Sole intention, it's learning to fly. Condition grounded, but determined to try. Can't keep my eyes from the circling skies. Tongue-tied and twisted, just an earthbound misfit eye.
Set. Mixtures rich. Propellers. Strobes on. Radio Echo ready for departure. Listening out. Radio
Above the line, on a wing of bread, my grubby hair, the vapor trail in the empty air. Across the clouds, I see my shadow fly. Out of the corner of my water ringer,
bigger. It's bigger than you are not me. The links that I will go to, the distance in your eyes. Oh no, I've said too much. I set it up. That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight, losing my religion, trying to keep up with you, and I don't know if I can do it. Oh no, I've said too much. I haven't said enough. I thought that I heard you laughing. I thought that I heard you sing. I think I thought I saw you try. Every whisper, every waking hour, I'm choosing my confessions, trying to keep an eye on you, like a hurt, lost and blind fool. Oh no, I've said too much. I set it up. Consider this. Consider this. Hint of the century. Consider this. Slip that brought me to my knees, pale. What if all these fantasies come flailing around? Now I've said too much. I thought that I heard you laughing. I thought that I heard you sing. I think I thought I saw you try. That was just a dream. That was just a dream. That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight, losing my religion, trying to keep up with you, and I don't know if I can do it. Oh no, I've said too much. I haven't said enough. I thought that I heard you laughing. I thought that I heard you sing. I think I thought I saw you try. But that was just a dream. Try, cry, why try? That was just a dream. Just a dream. Just a dream. Dream.
Before there was this, and this, and this, and this, and this, there was this, the humble pine cone. This is a female pine cone. This cone is male. Most cone-bearing trees, they're called conifers, produce both kinds, and each cone has a job to do. Males, that's easy. They just make pollen, lots of it, and let the wind spread it around. Females hold the seeds. They're tucked deep in there, inside each of those armor-like scales. She has to protect them, keep them from being eaten. be like a fortress. But seeds also have to be exposed at some point in order to catch pollen and be fertilized. So this humble pinecone has an amazing trick. For a short time, early in her development, she opens her scales just slightly to let the pollen in. Then she closes them back up while the seeds mature. But when the seeds are ready, her scales flex and stretch. They open to release the seeds, which grow up into the next generation of trees. It's a good strategy. The largest living things in the world, the oldest, they all reproduce with pine cones. Conifers have been doing this for 300 million years. Today, conifers only really dominate the landscape in places where flowering plants can't thrive. But in those places, the cold, the dry, the land with poor soil, the primitive pinecone reigns supreme.
treasure buried deep beneath the stone, and the valley people swore they'd have it for their very own. Go ahead and hate your neighbor, go ahead and cheat a friend. Do it in the name of heaven, you can justify it in the end. There won't be any trumpets blowing come the judgment day, on the bloody morning after. One tin soldier rides away. So the people of the valley sent a message up the hill, asking for the buried treasure, tons of gold for which they kill. Came an answer from the kingdom, with our brothers we will share all the secrets of our mountain, all the riches buried there. Now the valley cried with anger, mount your horses, draw your sword, and they killed the mountain people, so they won their just reward. Now they stood beside the treasure on the mountain, dark and red, turned the stone and looked beneath it. Peace on earth was all it said. Go ahead and hate your neighbor, go ahead and cheat a friend. Do it in the name of heaven, you can justify it in the end. There won't be any trumpets blowing come the judgment day, on the bloody morning after. One tin soldier rides away. Go ahead and hate your neighbor, go ahead and cheat a friend. Do it in the name of heaven, you can justify it in the end. There won't be any trumpets blowing come the judgment day, on the bloody morning after. One tin soldier rides away.